Ambitious as it may sound, yes, some people are preparing for this examination even if they've been using English since birth. But the reason why they're devoting time and effort for IELTS preparation is because they are not satisfied with a 7 or 8. They're in this to get the perfect 9 in the exam. So, who is credible to share with you tips on how to get 9 in IELTS speaking? Well, apart from native speakers, there are also non native speakers who took the examination and got a 9 in the examination. So here I am, one of the non native speakers who got 9 in IELTS speaking. I'm here to share with you how you can get a 9 in the speaking subtest. I'd like to begin by saying 9.09er lecturers are effective teachers because we've been doing this for more than a decade. In fact, in my case, more than 15 years. However, do not expect us to be miracle workers or magicians because we can only do so much. For most of you, we've met you only now. I mean, we are not your elementary or grade school English teachers, but we're hoping that whatever tips we share with you, we're going to use this in working together. It is 9.09ers' duty to teach, but it cannot be a one-way street. It has to be a two-way process. It is your duty to learn and apply whatever we have learned. And after this one, we need you to maximize one-on-one coaching sessions. It could be with a native speaker, but it could also be with non-native speakers who got the perfect 9 in the IELTS, like your 9.09er English lecturers. We focus on the first criterion, and that is fluency. How to get 9 in fluency. Normally, you have to be talkative, providing as many details as you can, but it's not just about the length of the performance or the length of the responses. You have to be organized. You have to make sense. A lot of people are talkative, but it's difficult to follow what they're saying because they're hopping from one topic to another. Some people are so fixated on what they're supposed to say next without really making sure that the other person or the examiner listening to you is understanding whatever word or sentence coming out from your mouth. So you're not just supposed to be talkative, you have to be organized and you have to make sense. Don't force yourself to talk too fast. You're not supposed to be too slow, but you have to be understood by your examiner, and it does not require you to be fast. What about 9 in pronunciation? I'd like to emphasize this is not just pronunciation in general, but it also pertains to how you deliver for the entire duration of the speaking subtest. 9 in pronunciation, it has to be clear. The words, the syllables, there has to be proper intonation, enunciation. However, don't force yourself to sound like a native speaker. For as long as you are easily understood, you don't have the local nuances of people coming from your country. You just have to drop the local accent. Neutral accent is more important than faking a native accent. So that's how you're supposed to get a 9 in pronunciation. And what's the best delivery? Not formal, but rather conversational. Moving on to a 9 in vocabulary. Well, it says not just good choice, but excellent choice of non repetitive words. If you're able to use fancy words correctly, go ahead. But don't force yourself to mention highfalutin words in every sentence or every response in the entire speaking test. Normally, examiners are going to ask you 15 questions from task 1 all the way to task 3. If you can mention 1 or 2 and use it correctly, good for you. But you don't have to mention 15 big words because in reality, when you're having a conversation with your friend or your family member, you don't try to impress the person you're talking to because you're supposed to be co-equals, right? So avoid fancy words unless these words are appropriate and you're comfortable using them, and they have to come out naturally. For 9 in grammar, you're not required to have the grammar of columnists or the kind of English of poets. You just have to make sure that your words, or rather, you're following the grammatical rules of English and your sentences are not short and choppy. This is applicable for people who have that ambition of getting the highest grade in the speaking subtest. But don't aim for a 9 if you can't even get close to 6 or 7. Let us be realistic with our ambitions. We take it one step at a time. If, for now, you have learned English only recently, let's try to aim for 5 or 6 first. We aim for a 9 only when you have made sure that English is as natural as talking or walking. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you're supposed to get a 9 in the speaking subtest. I can't wait for our next video because in future videos, we're going to talk about the different types of topics and how you're supposed to respond.